What does the story of RuneScape actually look like? How would it go if you did the quests by the timeline and locked yourself to content that would have been available at that time in the story to the player? The adventurer only training in areas they'd already visited and leveled slowly, growing stronger as the journey progresses. Well, meet Storyscape, an account and series that aims to answer just that. So join us on our journey through the lore and story of RuneScape.
Journey with me to
So I normally don't do recaps unless it's relevant to the story, but for anyone that missed the last minute of that 3-hour video I released the other week, a couple days after uploading the video called Finally Finishing Pathfinder, well, this happened. And hopefully when I get into the adventurer era, I'm so fucking excited for the adventurer era. There are so many great... I mean, look at this. Wait, what is that? Oh shit! I didn't realise they'd added a new quest. I should have fucking checked that. They've added a new quest for... Shit, where does that actually place in the timeline? Let's show completed. Is it low down? Did it at least load? It's the last one. Okay, perfect. Shit, I might need to add that. Oh, I'll just put it at the beginning of the adventure area. I've already done a video called Finally Finishing Pathfinder. Oh shit. So that's our first quest of the episode, There's No Place Like Home. Released with the construction rework on the 13th of July 2026, while I was working on the last episode. But thankfully it was placed at the end of the timeline by Jagex, so at least it didn't break the account. No, I did that myself before starting this quest. But that's a story for another time. For now, it's time to head back to Rimington to meet Alfred Stonemason to learn about a new pocket dimension the wizards have created. He starts off the conversation by giving us a very sales pitchy speech about the potential of owning your own plot of land to build your home on. Now it says on the wiki that this is possible because the wizards have found a way of creating personal pocket dimensions, so everyone can have their own private 2 acres to build on. But I never saw this dialogue in the quest, and now he just wants to give me the tutorial book, so I don't know where this came from, but to be fair, it does make sense. The potential of the new homes are amazing, he tells us, claiming that we could be the envy of even the royalty of the land, and show off trophies from our adventures. Sure, why not? So he sends us to the nearby estate agent, who sells us our own little rent in time and space for the low price of 1,000 gold, and after paying the man, we head on through the nearby portal. Alfred meets us once again outside the single-room building, and Storyscape realises that the previous owner didn't leave the place in the best of states. So after a quick spring clean, we meet Alfred back outside where he teaches us how to make planks to turn into a chair. Why is this a quest? I can understand it being a mini-quest, but for fuck's sake, it's a tutorial, and it doesn't exactly add any story. The lore doesn't even get covered. But anyway, we store the chair we just made, go in the house, place it, build an extra room, close the door on it, quest done. So now we are actually done with the Pathfinder era of the timeline, and here's some headcanon to kind of connect it into the story. After a year and a half of work, Storyscape received a letter from Xenia at the Champions Guild near Varrock, telling him that he'd been recognised by the guild as a trusted adventurer, and that after a few more months of work, he would be accepted as a full member of the guild. After receiving the letter, Storyscape spent a few weeks honing his skills in preparation for the road ahead, but those are tales for another time. For now, we join the adventurer roughly halfway through the 170th year of the 5th Age for a tale of two dwarfs in the quest known as What's Mine Is Yours. This was a rework of Doric's quest, another one of the voice-acted reworks added in 2012, fleshing out the story considerably. I mean, it's not really that hard, the other quest is literally just get ores, but this does have a few extra steps. We start by meeting Doric in his home and smithy outside the gates of Tavaly.
It's over. My business, my life, everything. It's all in ruins.
And after that melodramatic introduction, he explains that one of his most loyal customers has failed to order their usual shipments. This isn't the first time that it's happened recently, and to add insult to injury, he's also recently learned that his son finished his studies in the dwarven city of Keldagrim and has not yet returned. I wonder if those two things are related. Doric unfortunately only has one remaining customer, Ceramic Vase, the leader of the White Knights of Falador, and the adventurer suggests that Doric craft his finest items to present them to Ceramic, thereby increasing his reputation.
We could try. I've let things run down lately, and I'm out of materials, so we're going to need some ore before we begin. I should tell you, I use only high-quality ore. You need to know where to look for it, but it produces fine results.
So he sends us off to gather the materials for him, giving us a map to where the higher quality ores could be found, starting in the Dwarven Mine. On our way in, a friendly miner warns us of the aggressive scorpions in the southern reaches of the mine, advising that we stay near the northern side. Which is fine, because that's exactly where we need to be to find the copper ore. And whilst mining it, we get attacked by some form of sentient rock creature.
Hi, Grace.
No, not that one. This one attacks us, and my brief panic at forgetting to bring weapons on this quest is quickly waylaid as we comfortably punch it to death, and it drops the coveted high-quality ore. The same thing happens again in both the mines in Varrock, one of the creatures dropping a broken amulet as well as the ore, and the other dropping a wizard's diary, which describes how the wizard had been hired to mess with Doric's business, and that his spell had been developed after months studying the creatures far below the Dwarven mine in the living rock caverns. Then, upon reaching Rimington, Storyscape overhears two men talking in the mine nearby.
Are you sure this will be enough to stop them getting the ore from here?
Anyone who triggers the spell will be lucky to make it away alive.
I never wanted you to kill anyone.
You said you wanted them dealing with. It's too late now. Anyway, let me get on with it.
The duo teleports away, and Storyscape mines the exact rock we just saw get enchanted when he's attacked again. What did you expect? I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Doesn't punching solid rock hurt? You know what, never mind.
Fist my bomb. No, it's fist bomb.
We return to Dolik, tell him about the rock creatures, and show him the diary.
Thank you. Glad you're all right.
He then asks us to smith the bronze sword and dagger for him. I thought the whole point of this is that it was his work that we were showing off. Well, from one tutorial to the next, I guess. Do prefer this one though, it actually has some story attached. So we smelt the ore and forged the weaponry, and Doric sends us off to the artisan's workshop in Falador to get it finished off by a dwarf named Axel.
And look how beautifully made they are. Almost as good as if we made them here ourselves.
Why, thank you.
I would be more than happy to help Doric out. The art of finishing requires a delicate hand, and more dedication than that of simply creating a blade.
Many hours later, one of Axel's master smiths finishes your high-quality weapons.
With Doric's talents and our finish, these blades are fit for a king.
What do you mean, Doric's talents? I made these. Fucking Doric's talents. So we head over to the castle to meet Serlin.
Yes, that would be me. Paul Selin is my full name.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I completely forgot about that one. Ceramic Vase's squire is Paul Selin. Brilliant. Paul informs us that one of Doric's workers is already meeting with Ceramic as we speak, so we convince him that whoever is with his boss is definitely a fraud, and we both rush to stop the meeting, where we see him chatting to the hooded dwarf we saw in Rimington. Stop right there! Ceramic, this is an imposter. It is I who is sent here by Doric.
What? Who are you?
The adventurer sounds so pompous here.
Ah, the old man deserves it. Yes, Ceramic, I've been taking his orders, but these weapons were still made by me. They're better than Doric could ever manage.
I will not have the White Knights deal with fraudsters. Now tell me, who are you?
The name's Boric. I've just returned from Keldegrin and was thinking of setting up shop here.
Wait, you're Doric's son?
Oh, you've heard of me? I'm surprised he remembers to talk about me.
We explain to Boric that his father's been worried about him, when Ceramic completely loses his patience, leaving the adventurer to deal with the situation, and we drag Boric back to his father.
Boric! My son! You've returned!
Wasn't it my idea?
But we force him to own up to stealing his father's business. Then we get a bar at the top of the screen as we guide the conversation, mediating the exchange until the two agree to run the shop together.
We're going to relaunch the business as Doric and Son. In fact, we'd like you to come on board as a business partner. What do you say?
I'm going to regret this, aren't I? And as expected, the pair instantly put Storyscape to work, clearing out the rocks in the basement and making some new armor stands and signage for the shop. But with all that done, the opening ceremony goes ahead. And the quest is complete. Rewarding us with a Gofanon amulet. Doric repaired the amulet dropped by the rock creature, and will be able to use it to claim bonus experience after completing Doric's and Boric's tasks. series of mini-quests that we'll complete throughout our journey. Next it's time to help another dwarf in Fishing Contest, a quest released all the way back in 2002 and has remained almost completely unchanged in the last 24 years. Storyscape has made a good amount of gold in his first year and a half of being an adventurer, and desperate to hold on to his newfound wealth, finds a passage guarded by a dwarf while looking for a cheaper and safer way into Kandarin. And I wrote that before remembering that lodestones exist and Storyscape doesn't have to pay to get over there anymore, but fuck it, I'm going with it because this guy's dumb anyway. Hey! We start by asking Austri the dwarf what's down the tunnel, instantly infuriating him, as he explains that it's the home of the mountain dwarves and implies how rude it is to use someone's home as a shortcut, which is pretty reasonable to be perfectly honest. Storyscape says that he wouldn't mind if a friend used his home as a shortcut, and badgers the poor dwarf until he asks him to do a favour in exchange for using the tunnel. As dwarves are a big fan of gold, Austri would rather like the solid gold trophy handed out for winning the Hemenster fishing contest. Unfortunately though, he's not a very good fisherman. So that is of course where we come in. He hands us the entry ticket and recommends that old Jack may be able to help us out. In the small fishing village in Kandarin, Storyscape heads into the contest area to scope out his competition. A single suspicious stranger who looks like they might be a vampire. Just because I can't stand the smell of garlic and I don't like bright sunlight doesn't necessarily mean I'm a vampire. Yep, definitely a vampire. I wonder what his story is. How did he end up so far away from Mauritania? Was he stationed with the other Zamarakians who ruled Kandarin under Hazil and Khazard? We'll learn about Khazard eventually, but I bet this vampire's got a really interesting story. But anyway, after the brief scouting mission, Storyscape headed over to old Jack in his home nearby to get some pointers. Apparently, Jack won the contest 4 years running, so he was definitely the right person to ask, and tells us that the larger fish swim near the outlet pipes and that the best bait to use are red vine worms, which we have to break back into Magruber's wood to harvest. On the way back through Sear's village, a foul stench reaches the adventurer, and nearby we find its source. Some silly twat has left some garlic out in the heat of the summer, stinking out the whole high street. But this gives him an idea, and he grabs the garlic. This isn't stealing, this is community service. Back in the contest area, we place the garlic in one of the pipes to keep the vampire away. I hope this doesn't affect the fish too. And pay Bonzo to start the competition. He gives us our positions, the vampire refuses his position because of the smell, and so we steal it, catching 3 giant carp there. Hand them in to collect the trophy, and deliver it to Austri. He said this was the home of the mountain dwarfs. This is just a pub and a minecart track. I'm not sure if Fishing Contest should have given me access to Catherby or not. If you ask Austri about his brother during the quest, he'll tell you about Vestry and Catherby, and you can also start the quest by talking to him, but I never got that dialogue, and he doesn't actually send you to Vestry, so have I unlocked it? I don't know. I'll let you decide. But this will be my best range location during my next round of skilling, and it'll probably also be good for farming and fishing. Also, not really sure where it's going to get unlocked. Let me know what you think in the comments. So to finish off this first episode of Season 2, we return to one of my favourite quest series in the game, and one that we started in the last era, the second official part of the Elf series, Biohazard. The story began in Sheepherder, where we learned of the plague currently ravaging the western half of Ardougne. Then in Plague City, we snuck into the quarantine zone through the sewers to rescue the nurse Elena, and I'm going to get her fucking name right this time, who had been imprisoned while investigating the plague in the hope of finding a cure. So this quest begins with the adventurer checking in with Elena when she tells us her distillator was confiscated by the mourners when they held her captive. Why she waited months to tell us about this and not straight after we rescued her is beyond me. Seems like a lot of people could have been saved from the plague in that time. So our first task is to get back into the city. It won't be as easy as last time though, because the tunnel in Edward's garden was discovered and filled in. So Elena sends us to her friend, Jericho, who is apparently in communication with the people of West Ardougne through the use of carrier pigeons, and has arranged for a man named Omart to meet us near the southern end of the wall. But he won't do anything, because the guards are looking right at us. We'll go around the fucking corner then. Back at Jericho's house, we steal a cage full of pigeons from our back, and some bird feed from the closet right in front of him, Storyscape displaying some real main character energy here. Chuck some birdseed on the ramparts, real subtle, they definitely didn't see who did that, and release the birds. Distraction created, Omar gives a signal, and the rope ladder appears from the other side of the wall. In our full mourner disguise, we attempt to enter the headquarters only to get turned away as they're currently eating lunch. Around the back of the complex, we find a rotten apple on the floor and slip through a crack in the fence, poisoning their stew. Back at the entrance, we're told that they still can't let anyone in because now everyone's sick and they're waiting for a doctor. And of course, the easiest way to look like a doctor is just to wear a doctor's shirt, so we steal one from the infirmary near the church. Inside, we find a cage upstairs that looks like it could be full of confiscated shit, so Storyscape asks a nearby mourner about it, and she quickly realises we aren't a doctor and attacks us, which doesn't go particularly well for her. The other dudes just stood there watching like, yep, none of my business. She drops a key, we open the cage and search the only crate that wasn't graphically updated, and distillator in hand, we return to Elena, who eagerly asks us to pass her some nearby chemics so she can test her plague sample. But there's no change on the touch paper, and confused at these results, she sends us with the sample and reagents to her mentor Guidor in Varrock. But before that, we'll need to head to the chemist in Rimington to get more touch paper. So if you teleport with these files, they'll break and you'll need to come back and get more from Elena. So you need to bank them before teleporting. And thankfully, because of the recent construction update, there's bank literally right next to the chemist. So we grab some touch paper from him, and he warns us that there's been some rumours of a plague carrier travelling the land with a sample of the deadly disease. Really? That's terrible! Even the guards in Varrock have been searching people, so to smuggle in the other chemicals, he recommends we speak to his assistants outside. The idea of this bit is you give the right chemical to the right assistant, otherwise it won't ever arrive in Varrock. Da Vinci will paint with just about anything with a bright colour, so we give him the clear Athenaea. Hops is an alcoholic who will drink almost anything he gets his hands on, but he's smart enough not to drink the highly toxic sulfuric bromine. And Chansey is a bit of a Dell boy who will try and turn a profit on just about anything he comes into his possession, so we give him the normal, everyday, cheap as muck liquid honey. But I fucked up, so Hops drank the Athenaea and Da Vinci painted with the sulfuric bromine. So back to Elena for some replacements. With all the items finally ready, we head to the southeastern corner of the city to Guidor's home, only to be denied entry by his devout Saradominist wife. So, not for the first time in this quest, it's time to grab a disguise. And fortunately, the nearby fancy dress store does sell a priest gown and robe, as well as an eye patch because I thought it'd look good. Never seen a priest of Saradomin wear all black, but this might work, I guess. Of course, it does work for some reason, and Guidor's wife lets us through to see him. We explain that Elena sent us to him to analyse a sample of the plague, and after doing so, he comes to the realisation that whatever was in the sample isn't toxic. The plague is a lie. After telling Elena the shocking news, she suggests that we take this right to the top, to King Lathus of East Ardougne himself, to confront him about the plague. And he instantly comes clean, telling us the truth, well, kind of anyway, claiming that the cover-up was just a way to protect his people from a much greater threat, a fear too big to fathom. Apparently, the king of West Ardougne, Tyrus, had journeyed further to the west, beyond the Galapagos mountains that border Kandarin, only to be captured by a mysterious Dark Lord. The Dark Lord had then apparently forced Tyrus to drink from the Chalice of Eternity, corrupting him, which we haven't learnt about yet. Waterfall Quest. That's a while away. But anyway, Lathus built the wall, hoping to protect the world from the Dark Lord. The adventurer asks what we can do about it, and the king tells us that there isn't much to be done at the moment until his scouts can find a way through the mountains. He finishes the dialogue by revealing that King Tyrus was his brother, the city divided between the two brothers when their father, King Ulthus, died. Oh, you're still watching? Sweet! I'm glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.